What's up again, guys? This is Axe again. Uh, Appreciate. I want to just say thank you for all the people that inbox me and um, give me some advice and comment on the videos, as well as compliment, as well as follow the account. I just want to say thank you very much. I appreciate you guys, and some of you guys that message me. Uh, Man, some of y'all accounts are banging. I'm talking about y'all really got some really uh y'all got some really superior and amazing gear. So some of y'all really, y'all with the, you know, billion or a couple billion. One guy messaged me had 3 billion, 3.2 billion might kills. So he's been putting some work in. Definitely been playing for a minute, I'm sure. So as you can see, I've been getting a lot of feedback from a lot of veterans, a lot of experienced large mobile players, people who've been around probably since Bren Chong and uh, Midavinci or whatever his name is. He used to be back then with JVT, and all them people back then. M44 and yeah. So I want to just say thank you. Uh, Look you in the eye and say thank you, guys. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the comments. Appreciate the advice and the tips. And that's what I want to go over today. Advice. So I want to go over a few things because one of the guys commented today, and he said something. A few people have been commenting and making some statements on some things that really sound. I mean, it's like I didn't really think of it, you know. So the first thing I want to say is, first thing I want to look at is, because I told a few people that the next video that I bring out is going to be some things that I actually would like some help with. So in this particular video here, we're really going to be dealing with things that I'm a little confused on or any little help with. So let's start with one of the basic things here. One of the basic things. Here's one of the reasons why I'm confused on some stuff here. Now, here's the deal. I think I'm getting it already. So check this out, guys. So let's start with this one here. When I send out a march, if I send out a march with Rose Knight as a hero, Rose Knight's stats are army attack. So Rose Knight would be, even if I'm using that 244 or 424, whether I'm using infantry and cav attack, Rose Knight would be that army hero, and then I would have 2 infantry and 2 cav other heroes. And as you guys have been letting me know, especially make sure they're gold, and stop using the heroes that are purple, like this, where I'm only getting 8% attack boost, which in some cases 8% would be good, but if I have something better that I can put in there, and as some of you guys have been showing me, if I can stack stats or boost, then why not go that route there? So one of the things I was asking, I got confused about. And if you watch the last video, you know why, because I've always been a defensive person, not an offensive player. So I'm starting to learn. I was confused about something. Now, we all know that you get your hero boosts and stats, period. So automatically with your leader, you get these boosts automatically. You get those boosts automatically. That cavalry HP, that army attack boost, you get that all the time. But there's a trick there, I guess, because I won't get Rose Knight's attack boost. I'm trying to figure out how this works. I don't get Rose Knight's attack boost unless I send that leader out on the battlefield. Like you say, how I said sometimes, sometimes you get a certain stat with leader, whereas you don't get certain stats without the leader. well, we all know if you don't send out your leader on a march, you're not going to get the stats that go with that. Like, let's look at like right here the base stats on something here. The base stats there is right there, with leader or without leader. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, so all my leaders, the stats that I get from them, they have to be deployed. They have to be used in order to get that boost, those extra attack boosts. They don't just automatically, you don't just automatically get every single hero boosting stat automatically applied to your base stat. So somewhere along the line, I got confused about that. So some of you experienced guys, y'all can kind of like simplify that for me. I know I'm making it even more confusing than it is. But what I'm basically saying is I have to have that leader in the march, in the composition, in the troop composition, in the formation, in battle in order to get that particular stat. It is not automatically given to me because I own because I own the leader, basically is what I'm saying. So that's one thing I wanted to really kind of really clear up is you only get the stats that the leader is out on the field with. You only get those boosts, whether you stack them or you get a single boost, you get that. Another thing I want to talk about is somebody mentioned this here and I thought it was really good because it's kind of like going backwards. So I thought it was really fascinating that I didn't think of this. Now, we know that on some familiars, they're not really worth anything, right? Some of them really aren't worth a whole lot. So look at here. This particular one, it's a army D. The most it's going to do is it's going to increase at the start of the battle, increases army defense by 15%. So this is not really a familiar that I actually really want to waste bright orbs on. So one of the experienced guys was telling me, he was like, stop building all of those other or maxing out all those other familiars until you get the pack 5s familiars maxed out. And what he verbatim, that wasn't verbatim. What he was saying was, stop wasting my orbs, my bright orbs, on familiars that are not going to benefit in any way at all, and use those bright orbs for the pack 5 familiars where they will benefit me. So in a sense, even though I've been pushing buttons like this here, and let me give you an example. Bing, right here. Here's a good example right here. Even though it does give that 60% boost, and that's good if that's all you got, right? Of course. But it used, I don't know if it used bright orbs or if it used the I don't know if it used bright orbs or if it used, some of them I got maxed out, guys. I apologize. Bright orbs. Okay, all of them are bright orbs, basically. So this particular one here, let's look at that one right quick. I think what I'm getting confused on is bright orbs from just the regular orbs, right? That you use, right? I'm thinking of something somewhere, guys. I think that is, it's in here. It's in here. Give me just a second. There's brilliant orbs is what it was. One is brilliant and one is the bright ones. So the what the guy was basically letting me know is don't use the orbs, period. Whether it's bright orbs or brilliant orbs, don't misuse them when they can be saved and used for a familiar that's much more needed or important when you get it maxed out. So I thought that was really interesting because I never thought of that. I never thought when I was pushing the buttons to, you know, increase the stats on, let's use this one for an example right here. When I was using this button to increase the stats, which that one's a good one there. Don't get me wrong, it's a good one. On other ones, when I was using Brighten Orb or Bright Orb to increase stats, I didn't know that I could be wasting those orbs. I never thought of it like that, And then at the same time, I could have saved some money because of the orbs I've purchased to upgrade familiars or their boosts, their stats. So that's another way because I purchased them to upgrade them, but maybe I was upgrading familiars that shouldn't have been upgraded. I could have wasted orbs. So and once again, it goes back to, guys, like I was saying, when you really don't know how to properly utilize your materials or your resources and things like that. So that was kind of going backwards. So I like that. What y'all think about that? Another thing I wanted to talk about is that I want some further opinion on is my familiar set. Somebody suggested this, and I thought it was an excellent idea when they brought it up. So I want to, and I've had a few people, I've made mention of it before in other videos, but I'm kind of like officially putting it out there now and asking the community, do y'all think it's a good idea? Because I thought it was a really fantastic idea when he brought it up, because I've always been of the point that, okay, I want to have my blast set. I'm not going to be a rally lead, so I want to have my blast set. Our cat sings, guys. See what I'm saying? He sings. I wanted to have my blast set up because Mix he's a whiner. Yeah, remember we had another cat. Now we got another cat. The other cat's gone. He's literally gone. But anyway, now we got a new cat. She has a new comfort pet or whatever you call them. Anyway, back to this. I've always thought mixed, y'all know what I'm saying. Your mixed gear is always the hardest, and most of the time it's your weakest gear. But somebody suggested, and he's been teaching me a lot of things too, so that maybe I'm doing it backwards here, and instead of having just blast, set up a mix. Because even one person mentioned in the comment, he said that you're going to be stacking those things. Like you might have a blast of 850 or 1,000, but if you take those mix sets and you got 500 infantry, 500 range, 500 cavalry, that's 1,500 right there that you're hitting with, even though it's not one troop type, one attack type or stat, it is an overall 15% hitting, whereas compared to just a straight solid blast of 1,000. So the thing I'm asking is, I've always been of the opinion, and I think I learned in a guild. Matter of fact, it was one of the guilds that I learned in, that I was in a warring guild. That's what they kind of told me. They kind of like put the jewels into your. They told me to put the jewels into my blast stats like this here, so that all of my gems, my jewels, would be in the blast and not in the mixed. So that's where I put them all at. So now I'm coming back and I'm like, okay, guys, what's the verdict? Where do we put these at? Where do we take all these blasts and these one troop type stats? Take these gems, where do we put them? Do we put them in the mix or do we keep them in a blast? What do you guys think? I know it could be debatable, but what's really the best effective way to do it? Because what my guy was telling me, it really makes all the sense in the world. And it hit me like, really hit me like, damn, that is smart. Because most of the time when I'm defending, I always have on my mixed gear. Uh, unless I know they're coming with an infantry or a range attack, then I'll throw on a cav or something. So that's something I wanted to ask you guys. What do you think is the best way to go there? And I know it's debatable, and it may depend too. And we know over and over and over again. We've seen rally leads and maxed accounts take jewels out of one. Uh, we've seen them take jewels out of one piece just to take it and move it over to add that 20%, that 15 or 10 boost to something else. So what is the real way to do this? Because even if I take all of my jewels out, and you guys know that's expensive, uh, even if I take all of my jewels out and put them into my mixed, well, what if I'm attacking in Wonder War, or not Wonder War, but in KVK or something? What if I see a castle that is, down to all, or we're rallying somebody, you see they're down to all cav, and you just want to blast them with a range, So now my range gear is low on stats because the gems are somewhere else. So it's very conflicting, and of course I think IGG made it to be like that because they're buttholes, but but I think they made it to be like that because it makes people have to get more jewels. I mean, you just got to get more jewels. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. What should I do? Should I put all those into the mix, or should I leave them there? Um, what y'all think? Should they go there, or should they go into the mix set or not? Which that's not necessarily my mix, but y'all know what I'm saying. So moving right along. Next thing on this table, my guy bought up something. Another guy bought up something. A big player bought up something really good. Now you guys know y'all have convinced me. Y'all made a believer out of me for the most part. I still might end up buying a few Halo packages, depending on what I need or how fast the process is going. Sometimes I get impatient. But I wanted to ask you guys because he brought up something, and I have been sticking to the Tycoon to try to get my packs and Halos out of there. But I want to ask you guys something because one guy gave me some estimates and some numbers and some figures on, it is true that you get a lot of gems back. He made a mention of like 60% back off your gems from the Tycoon. I might say that I don't know about that. If that figure is accurate, if it's accurate, because that seems like I don't think you get half of it. You have to hit the gremlin, the gem gremlin, and hit the lotto there, the win to get your gems back for real. Because if you look at this, if I spend 60,000 gems for 100 tokens. Now, what I think I'm learning is when I've used 10 tokens, I've been getting on the shady side, guys. I'm coming out like with one Halo, and that ain't cutting it. So it's like even if I go up in there and spend 99 cents for a pack, if I go up there and spend 99 cents in here, and I get the uh, and I get the I did buy those two, the little gems there. But if I spend the I think I've already got it. But if I spend this here and I get that for 99 cent or $1.99 or whatever it is, I think it's 99 cent. I'm getting 10 of those tokens. And I'm only really getting realistically in here like maybe one glowing halo. So I'm learning that and it goes the same way with other drop rates. You know, you seem like the more you have, like 5,000 Crimson Mains or 5,000 box Crimson boxes, champ boxes, the better chance is 10,000, 15,000. The better chance you have of getting um, your Crimson Mains out of them. That's what it seems like. The more you have, the better you have a chance of getting a better drop rate rather than and it, but we all know that is not solid. That's not sound. That ain't a guarantee. You can go in there with 20,000 champ boxes and come out there worse off than a person who only spent 2,000 champion boxes. So, but my point I'm making is that here's my question to you guys: is it worth taking over 2 million gems and going in the Tycoon and spending them here on this and hoping for the best, or would that be a phenomenal, astronomical, gigantic, huge, humongous disaster again? Because you know IGE can get you, so it probably ain't a safe thing to do because you really probably you could end up losing. There's just no guarantee there. But my guy was saying you can get back a certain percentage, which I think the percentage was a little bit too high because I don't think you're gonna get back 60% of your gems. Like if I purchase this, if not if I purchase, if I use my gems to get this here, right here, if I use my gems to get this, I'm only getting 100. Now I like to go in there really when I'm in there with 600 or at least five something or 600. So I would have to spend if I did that 5 times. That's 300,000 gems. That's a third of a million gems right there. And would the drop rate or would the halos and the things I'm going to receive going to be worth 300 million gems? Now I will get some gems back because I'm going to bump into quite a few of the gremlins, the gem things. But how much will I actually get back? You know, I don't know what it is per 100 tokens. How many times you run into a gremlin, or how many times you get halos, or how many times you get the bond packs, or the um, where's the other one? The jade. Is that bond too? No, that was yeah bond and both are the same thing. I'm tripping. One's just the chest and one's the actual thing. So all of them bond things in there. So the thing I'm asking is, what do you guys think of that? Do you think that's smart to do, or would that be like another mistake? Now, the last thing I want to get to and ask you guys, which is the main course here, I wrestle and I'm wrestling with the proper phalanxes, guys. Now, for something like this here, let's just go ahead and hit that and see what happens. Okay, he's winning that one. So let's look at this right quick, and let's wait till we reach a loss, and let's check something here. And I've seen Rally League struggle also with this and kind of oscillate, go back and forth on what's the proper phalanx to send, and not only the proper phalanx to send. Is it? Listen, guys, I need y'all to listen. The troop type that you're sending, say for instance, I'm doing a Cav rally with a little bit of, say for instance, I'm doing a 424 or just a calf blast. The main troop type that I am going to be sending, will it always be in the back? And the army leader or a cav leader in the front. And I know I'm throwing a lot here. And I just did that, guys. My bad. I apologize about that. But anyway, I meant to hang up and I ended up answering it. But what I'm asking is this: um, the troop type that I'm using. If I'm using Cav, will I will I be, if I'm using calf blast, will I be putting calves in the back all the time, sometimes, or when? And it doesn't depend on if I'm being countered or what the enemy's phalanx is. So in something like this here, we're going to look at their phalanx right quick. They're in a cavalry wedge, which you know is cavalry and infantry, and then ranges in the back. It follows the correct sequence. When you're in the phalanx, then it kind of jumps, it goes backwards in a sense. It'll go cavalry, uh, range, infantry if you're in a phalanx. So in this particular sense, I'm in a range wedge. He's in a cavalry wedge. So my ranger out front, and then my cavalry's next, and then my infantry. Whereas his cavalry's out front, so he's being countered automatically. But in my situation, the range is going to fall back or stay stationary, and the cavalry is going to come up. So it'll be eventually cavalry versus cavalry, and then of course my infantry will come up. And since he has cavalry wedge, it'll be cavalry, and then it'll be infantry, and so infantry with me. So basically, it's really kind of like the same thing in a sense. But obviously, I must have something like, it could be all range in there, and I got all cavalry in here. So let's see what he's dealing with. So he has mostly infantry, and I have mostly range. So I'm being countered right there on that sense. So it's so mixed up here, guys. It's so confusing because I could still beat this person even if I sent range with the proper phalanx, or is that not true? So you see what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not so clear cut. So what I would do is I would go in here and get this out the way first. I would go in here and I would change, since he's mainly infantry, I want to be mainly cavalry. So I want to be cavalry. So let's say I just stuck it right there, and I think we're in the correct phalanx. He's in a cavalry wedge. I'm in a range wedge. So let's see what can happen, because that seems like that's something. And we have the right leader too, right? We have a leader in there. We don't have a leader in there, so it's important to get a leader in there, right? So I'll take out the least important that I think is and on this one, I really want either a cav leader or a attack leader. So can I use Goblin on something like this? Because a lot of you have been saying put him in there on situations like this and stuff. So where's Goblin at? Here, that's him right there, right? Yeah. Is that Goblin? Yeah, that's Goblin. So we could put him as our leader, right? Let's go back and let's take him and oops. Did it again, my bad. Let's move that a little more. Let's make Goblin our leader right quick. And did I do Goblin, guys? Yeah, that's Goblin. So let's make him our leader. And then let's get back in here. And let's go back there. And we got Cav, and let's switch that around. Oops. Doop, boop. So now we got that. Did we have that? No, we didn't have that. I needed this guy and that there like this. Now we save that. We have our gear to set. Let's set it to Cav, right? Let's set it to Cav. Say okay, and then let's save it, and then let's hit him. Okay, so we won that one. Sometimes it's not that easy cut, guys. I struggle a lot when the enemy has, say, in this instance, they had 100,000 infantry, but what if they got like 70 range and 70 cav? I could use this same setup, and then I lose a lot sometimes when they have the same setup. When they have that setup there, this sort of mix. But what it is really is a 4-2-2, something like that, or something like that. So that's what I'm asking. Let's take another shot at it and see what he's doing this time. They're in range wedge. So they're in same one I was in last time. So we ideally from range ridge, you want to be in some type of cavalry phalanx. Oh no, you want to be in some infantry because infantry counters range. So they got infantry, they got range, cav, and infantry. So we want to. The cav is the first thing we in, so maybe we'll be in range. So we would be in some type of range. Maybe go range all together and be in a range phalanx or something. So we would look at it like I would do it something like this, and I'm just kind of like off the flip, just trying to think of the way that I'm thinking just by basic countering. So let's see. We either use that or we use an attack hero. So since we used the attack hero last one, let's use a range hero this time. So we're gonna go back in there, and we're going to go here, and we're gonna put it in range formation here. And I know there's some things I could take out. I could take out a lot of those siege out of there too. And we're gonna make sure we're in range here. Oops. Range. Now this is without seeing what he is. And then we're going to our phalanx. We want to make sure range hits the cavalry. We don't want the cavalry to meet up with the infantry, which we don't have infantry in there. But in this situation, do we put our range all the way in the back like this? You know, or do we go with this route here? Since we're going to be meeting up with cavalry, do we go this route here? So we have an option of an infantry phalanx or a cavalry wedge. So let's try this one, cavalry wedge. Because in the cavalry wedge, at least our infantry is not out front, you know, to meet the cavalry. So let's try it with that way there, and let's see what happens here. How did he become my leader? He wasn't supposed to. Remember, you know how you do that sometimes when you send attack instead of rally? That's how that happened there. So I was supposed to have tracker in there as my. But you guys see what I'm saying. So what I'm asking is, the only thing I'm asking is yeah, there's sometimes you keep the troop type that you're coming in the back. But I'm wondering, how do you figure out which phalanxes you need to use on certain formations, on certain how to counter and not get yourselves counter, you know, and also how to make it where your enemy, when you're marching against him, don't counter you. So those are some of the things I really wanted to get some help with. And I know, listen, I know that that last topic is a big one as far as the phalanxes. So, you know, it takes a lot to explain, because I know, even in my mind, as little as I know it ain't easy. It's not an easy. It's not a very easy thing to decipher. You know, it's not an easy thing to explain or even to put into practice. So those were some things I wanted to go over. That I could think of right now that I could use some better understanding on. So you guys get your teacher hats on, and get on the blackboard and let me know what's up, you know. And I appreciate all the help, and I appreciate you guys viewing, and and I want to tell y'all something. I actually did better in the what's that thing called, Hell or Fire or whatever it's called. I actually did better in there today than I normally do, because like I said, when it's mixed, like 117 infantry and then it's 70 cav and 70 range and 70 cav, man, I lose so many times. I'm talking about repeatedly. So I wish I had an example there to show you guys. If I got a minute or two, maybe I can. Let's see if this one is anything like that. No, this one is similar. So let's use this one, guys. This is similar. So he has mainly infantry. And he has, you know, Nexus cavalry and then infantry. And then range. So let's see if I can defeat this one. He's mainly an infantry. I don't necessarily look at they're familiars, even though I'm learning that familiars are an extreme part of it too, you know. But let's see if we can do something with this. So we know that he's strong on infantry, so we want to be strong on Calv, right? So I want to go first and foremost, and I'm gonna change into a hero instead of a Cav, guys. Or should I do a Cav? I'm gonna do a hero that's attack. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna put Rose Knight as our leader. And then we're gonna go over and we're going to pick a formation. What did I hit that for? We're gonna pick a formation, kind of look alike. We'll hit a formation that we're gonna go infantry. No, they're infantry, so we're going Cav. So we're going Cav, and we're going to we could check our familiars too. I can get this out of there. I can do something like I can protect my cavalry there and use that instead. I could also do something that weakens his defense. Like I could take that out and put something like this guy here in. Start of the battle weakens that. So let's leave that at that, and then let's go to our hero. No, we don't. I could have did that in here. I don't know why. See how I kept switching out and going out? I could have did it right in here. Just let you know how familiar I am with it. So he's still my hero. He's not supposed to be my hero. Watcher is supposed to be a hero. Let's change it. Oh, it don't change out there as in here. See, I didn't know that. I thought if I changed my hero in here, it changes outside of this too, this fire or whatever. But that wouldn't make sense because if you're in here playing, you shouldn't have your hero changed if somebody's attacking you while you're in this here, in here. So that makes sense. I didn't know that. So let's change our hero to this. I did not know that, guys. That's probably why when I swapped it last time, it was still the same thing. And I was like, I thought I swapped it. All right, and so on here, we're going to go in cavalry. And then on the Phalanx, we're going to go, we want our cavalry in the back, right? So we're not going to get it there. So we want that and then infantry right there. So let's go like that. And let's see what we get. Save, and let's hit it. Okay, I won that one. So maybe I'm kind of getting the hang of it. But you guys kind of like, give me a little logic. Because normally I'll lose on that. But like I said, it's normally when like 70, 100 and something, 70 something, 70 something. Which that was just a little difference. But I still won on it. So I did pretty good. So that being said, thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the compliments. Thanks for the viewing. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for weighing in, especially big and small, especially all players for weighing in. Free to play and pay to play. Thank you guys for weighing in. And I appreciate you guys. And I'll be back with another video probably today. I doubt it. I'm out.